Happy Saturday, besties. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me turn on the mic. Pause. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm going to be on the mic today. If you don't like it, you might as well go on right now, child. Because this is one of the best subjects ever in life. This is one of the best subjects ever in life, okay? If you're not a part of Generation X, that's okay. That's okay. If you know one, just know and understand that that makes it a little bit better for you. Sorry for your luck that you wasn't able to be a part of it, but you could be adjacent to it. Like those millennials. Like those millennials like and want to be. Shout out to everybody that is here. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. We are live on both channels. Portrait, landscape. If you don't look right, go back to the damn channel and switch over to the other live stream live on Instagram as well. And child, I'm going to figure out Rumble. I mean, I've done it before, so I don't understand what the problem is. So I'll figure it out and get that taken care of as well. Let me go ahead and, well, let me turn this down. Hold on. Shout out to CDT Beats again for the music. Shout out to him doing the damn thing. I appreciate you, hun. Oh, I didn't even put up the banners. I'm ready to go because I got things to do today. So it is Saturday, 11 o'clock. I know I'm late, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough time. I had to get up, I had to go to the gym. I have not been to Dollar General yet. That is on the list. I got something to do a little bit later. It is busy and it's effing freezing. It's cold outside. Wherever you are, and if it's warm, lucky you. The problem with the coldness outside, though, and I know this is first world problems, is the fact that the heat won't turn the fuck off, okay? Because it's cold outside. It causes the heat to come on so much downstairs, but upstairs, it is hell. It is complete and utter hell up here, and I got to turn the fan on in a second. It's crazy, but it's windy, so you might hear that that whistling sound. That probably will happen. Just FYI, I'm not trying to hear some of y'all's bullshit. I don't see K or Big Boy yet, but that's who I usually hear the bullshit from. Okay. Shout out to Jeffrey Woodland. I see you. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of y'all. I appreciate you. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Not fireplace. Oh my God. The fireplace is good because it's downstairs, right? So it would be good to help, but we got a Dyson. So the Dyson does heat and cold, so it pretty much does pretty good. But y'all, in the wintertime, ain't nobody downstairs because it's too cold. Upstairs, then you upstairs, it's hell. The heat is on 62 and it's hell up here. Hell, I'm telling you, it's hell up here. But again, that's first world problems. Praise the Lord for heat. Praise the Lord for heat. Truth is, I'm tired. All right. So I got to get to it. Let's go ahead and get to it. But before I get to the Generation X stuff, I got to talk to y'all about racism. Our favorite subject, racism, because of yesterday, where we saw that Trump put up the child, what is it? A musical, a video, a meme? I don't know what you call it. Excuse me. And of course, people were led to believe that this man just put this meme up of Michelle and Barack of them being portrayed as monkeys, which, of course, none of it is cute at the end of the day. It was funny. I ain't gonna lie. It was funny. Not them, just the whole video, because this is so typical of this man. This is so typical of what this man does. So when people just be like, oh my God. Oh my God, child, this the man you talk about every day. So I just be a little bit confused as to why you be surprised. I just be a little bit confused. But over here on CBS, they said that Trump refuses to apologize for social media posts, says he's the least racist president. Now, who in the world thought that Donald Trump was going to apologize, Bueller? Who in the world thought that? Has anyone ever heard Donald Trump apologize? That's the question. This is my question to ya. Has anyone ever heard Donald Trump apologize for anything, Bueller? I just feel like people just be saying shit just to cause chaos and dissension, because you know damn well he ain't gonna apologize. Just like half of these people that we've been talking about recently, none of them gonna apologize. We know how it go, and it's always put on the women, right? Men are supposed to apologize so quickly. Remember, they apologize so quickly. That's bullshit.
Okay, babe, I'm sorry. But I never meant to do that, but you never think of my feelings. You do know that I love you, but at the same time, you just let me what good thing is. At the same time, I get angry and multiple, and you don't care. Well, but I do forgive you, but at the same time, you don't. Okay, baby, I'm sorry. You gotta think of my feelings, but yeah, I'm sorry.
You know, come on, CBS, what's going on?
President Trump saying he will not apologize after sharing a video clip on his Truth Social account that depicted, I can't believe I'm reading these words, former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. The post drawing widespread backlash from both Democrats and Republicans. The White House removing the post after it was online for about 12 hours. CBS's Willie James Inman is in West Palm Beach with more on this story. Good morning, Willie.
Well,
Adriana, good morning to you. The president claims he didn't see the first portion of that. He saw only the first portion of that video and not the racist part of it. He claims he passed it on to a staffer who didn't review the full video. Now, we want to warn our viewers, we will show it briefly for context in this report.
I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time.
President Trump's controversial late-night video post on Thursday was about alleged voter fraud and just over a minute long.
I like the beginning. I saw it.
That video was about voter fraud? That is the last thing that video was about.
Willie, thank you.
That dude be looking weird. But anyway, so there's your racism for Saturday morning. Now I know the pros will be like, oh my God, you didn't, you're a white supremacist child. I don't care what y'all think, okay? I got more important things to be worried about than some damn memes where y'all be putting stuff out that don't make no sense and you never want to acknowledge it. You don't ever want to apologize for it and you be offending everybody. Y'all be in the comments offending people, offending me, and you rock out in the comments, okay? Because all engagement matters. Again, I don't understand how people think that they can control anybody. It's okay when you do it. But it's not okay when somebody else do it. That's not me excusing none of this because I think it's all pretty ridiculous. But that whole video is actually funny. But you got these leftists out here wilding. They're out here absolutely wilding. Nobody got shit to say. Nobody got shit to say. It's the same difference with this Anton and Corey stuff. All this stuff going on with Corey, nobody want to talk about it. Don't nobody want to say nothing about it. You're not as outraged about it. But as soon as Anton farts, I promise you, they're going to be making videos about it. They're going to be making videos about it. Every day it's another thing about damn Anton, but y'all silent on this damn Corey stuff. Rock the fuck out, okay? Because we will. But moving on to more important things. Generation X. Now, shout out to everyone that is here, but if you are Generation X, just go ahead and put an X in the chat for me, okay? Because I know that's what most of the makeup is. My audience is mostly X and baby boomers, and then a little bit millennials, and then a little bit of Zs, okay? Because, you know, Zs can't handle it. Most of y'all just can't handle nothing. You definitely can't handle any criticism. You can't handle any correction. You swear you know everything. Then you get online to tell everybody that you don't know shit, but still say that you know everything. Like a woman, okay? But I'm just saying, some of us do have a clue about some things, and Generation X definitely does. Shout out to all of y'all. This one, this short that I'm going to show you before I get into a full video is... This is a series or something going on now where they said, who let Gen X off the hook? Uh-oh. Let's see what happens here, cha. See what they got to say. Let me turn it up.
Gen X off the hook.
Who let me off the hook? Well, we were latchkey kids. We were MTV generation. We're the forgotten generation. Frankly, by the time our generation came along, the value of the dollar had dipped so low that both parents had to work all the time. That's why we were latchkey kids. That's why we raised ourselves. That's why we spent so much time watching MTV. And that's why there was so much tough love. We said, Mom, Dad, we need love. They said, tough, we gotta work. And you know what? They were boomers. They were hard workers. They didn't know how to not work. Some of us have sort of learned it a little too well.
Roulette.
So, not to get too deep into this because I'm about to play the video, but I'm gonna go over it one more time and address some of the things that he said. But first of all, I absolutely agree, especially about the part about latchkey kids, child. You ever have a key that was supposed to be around your neck and somehow you lost it and then you got in trouble? If we didn't get in trouble, y'all, nobody did. Say I'm lying. If we did not get in trouble, y'all, nobody did. Child, you lost the key, you in trouble because it was, why did you take it from around your neck? Why did you take it from off of your wrist? Remember those plastic bands type of curly things? And then you would put the key on it and then it was on your wrist the whole day. Then somehow, some way, it didn't make it home. So you sit outside on the step. Whoever sat outside on the step because you lost the key and you had to wait for your parent to get home. That step got my ass print, okay? Then get in trouble because then they had to go and get another key made. So you had to go out to the hardware store because that's what it was called. We didn't go to Walmart. We went to the hardware store and had to get another key made, and they was mad as ish to pay for something that probably cost $1. But they was pissed AF. Imagine if you was told to take out the damn hamburger and you ain't take out the hamburger. You got in trouble for that. If you were supposed to do your homework and your homework wasn't done so that your mom could check it when she got home because she ain't had time, because she had to go to bed because she done worked all day, you was in trouble. Who was always in trouble? I was always in trouble. You can't go outside. You can't go to your friend's house. You can't do this. You can't do that. Go to your room. Not that being in your room was a bad thing, child, because we had so much in there, but it was always go to your room and you on punishment. Punishment. There's a word. Do you think these people know what punishment means? Punishment. If I wasn't punished, nobody was. Now I see that Kenneth said ass whooped. I didn't get beat. But it definitely was punishment. My husband used to have to be put in the corner. Him and his brother used to have to be put in the corner. So then they had to stand there, and then the sweat from their heads would go up the wall as they got older and older and older. So they were punished too. I don't think these people know about punishment and what punishment means. There are no consequences. The consequences that we were given in order for us to be the adults that we are today, to not be out here looking for nobody to give us shit because we didn't already learn those lessons. Those lessons, seemingly, allegedly, are not being taught.
Gen X off the hook.
Who let me off the hook? Well, we were latchkey kids. We were MTV generation.
Remember when MTV started and they said that they were racist? Shout out to racism yet again. Remember racism? MTV was racist because they didn't show any black people. And then I think the first black person was Michael Jackson, of course. And then it took off from there into being, is it still here? Is MTV still a thing, y'all? I have no idea. I don't need it. We was watching some MTV. Madonna. Oh, Lord. Remember when Thriller came out, y'all?
We're the forgotten generation. Frankly, by the time our generation came along, the value of the dollar had dipped so low that both parents had to work.
But you know what he said? Both parents, because our parents were together. I know y'all, a lot of y'all don't know that life. Even if it was a step parent, they was together and they worked together. I know y'all don't understand that life. It's very helpful. It's very helpful to have two decent parents in your life. My husband had a stepfather as well as me. Still had a father that was wherever he was. Mine was over in the military, right? So you technically had three parents. You technically had three authority figures. And guess what they did? They stuck together. You weren't going to tell one nothing that the other one wasn't going to check with the other one for. Child, y'all's parents too busy trying to fight each other and be miserable and make you miserable on top of it. Listen, I'm just here to tell y'all what it is. That's the difference. Even with all that work, even with somebody being over there on the other side of the world, even another one who had to go do what he did because it was two military men and one feminist woman, they all communicated for the sake of the kids. Imagine that.
All the time. That's why we were latchkey kids. That's why we raised ourselves. That's why we spent so much time watching MTV. And that's why there was so much tough love. We said, Mom, Dad, we need love. They said, tough.
Imagine. I told y'all, that's why when I created my own family, we do, whenever we get off the phone, you say, I love you. Doesn't matter if you was on the phone for 30 seconds. All right, love you, bye. I love you, bye. Oh, I implemented that because ain't nobody around here was telling me they love me. Nobody, okay? Which my dad did, my actual dad did. Let me not take that away from him, okay? But again, he was all the way over there. But at home regularly, my mother, Child, I can't even tell y'all last time my mother told me she loved me. I cannot even tell you today. Shout out to baby boomers. It is what it is. So I'm not saying that it wasn't something difficult that I had to deal with. This is how I dealt with it. I was not going to have my family be that way. So that's how I handled it. Y'all just allowed it. Y'all act like some of y'all, not y'all, you know what I'm saying. Some of y'all act like you can't make changes in your own damn life for the better. You feel like, in my opinion, you just got to continue to struggle. You just got to continue the negativity. You got to keep recycling it and put it onto your own kids, put it onto your own family, listening to other people that you don't even know at the end of the day. If it's something that I don't like, then I'm not going to do it. Now, one thing that I couldn't stop is yelling. I admit that. I'm a yeller. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. I am a yeller. Okay. So my mother used to yell at me, and then I resolved to not yell at my kids. I failed. I absolutely did. I tried my best to deal with it and control it. I could not. But I definitely made a way to make sure that I was present and available, which is why when they started effing around, I'm like, we got to change some things up because I got to be in their face because they need to know that I'm not playing no games. And you're not going to be trying to get away with nothing while I'm at work. It's my responsibility to take care of you and raise you. So we had to adjust and make those changes. And I was right in their face. I told y'all, the one came around the corner into the cafeteria, thought she was going to be a bad biatch. And then she saw me. She was like, yeah, biatch, don't mess around with me.
We got to work. And you know what? They were boomers. They were hard workers. They didn't know how to not work.
Imagine like the day where they're like, I don't want to work. And you sitting up here electing that girl in Portland or Seattle, whichever one it is. And then ma'am Danby, because you want somebody to take care of you. And then when they start telling you what to do, oh, Lord. Or they don't do what they promised to do. And then who y'all going to go complain to? Child, we going to sit here and watch. We going to sit here and watch. Well, let me go on to this video right here that I found. So this is called The Psychology of Generation X, child. And of course, StreamYard. Hold on a second. Lord, help your people. Specifically me with this damn StreamYard. Yelling is a thing. Girl, I tried. And the funny thing is that if I hear them yelling at my grandkids, I'll be like, you know, you don't need to yell. Remember when you said, I don't like you to yell, mommy. Don't yell at them kids. Then they be rolling their eyes. Interesting how that worked.
If you scroll through social media today, it feels like a war is being fought in public. In one corner, you have baby boomers, accused of hoarding wealth, clinging to outdated values, and refusing to move out of the way. In the other corner, you have millennials and Gen Z, louder than ever about burnout, rising costs, identity politics, and a future that feels permanently delayed. The noise is constant. The outrage is endless. But if you look closely, there's a third group sitting quietly in the background, not yelling, not trending, not making 10-part threads, just watching it all with a coffee in hand. And that faint, ironic smirk that says, yeah, I've seen this before. That's Generation X, born roughly between 1965 and 1980. Gen X.
Shout out to 1971. What year was y'all born? Shout out to Generation X and everybody else that is here. But what year were you born, Gen X?
X is the forgotten middle child of American history. Too young to inherit the boomers' economic golden age, and too old to get sympathy.
You know what? He's absolutely right. Don't nobody think about Generation X until they want to effing complain. Say I'm lying. Just like that heifer talking about, these grandmothers said they don't want to watch no kids while we go away to whore for the weekend. They don't want to watch the kids for the week, for like 5 days. What? Anyway.
As these struggling youth. Most people barely mention them. until something breaks, and suddenly they're the ones expected to fix it. Because Gen X didn't become invisible by accident. They were trained to disappear. And when you grow up learning that nobody's coming to save you, it doesn't just shape your lifestyle.
Child, why is he riding sideways? Did you see that? He's driving sideways.
They were trained to disappear. And when you grow up learning that nobody's coming to save you, it doesn't just shape your lifestyle, it rewires your personality. Today, we're not just talking history, we're psychoanalyzing an entire generation. This is the psychology of Gen X, the quiet generation watching the culture war.
That's what we're doing.
To understand the Gen X mind, you have to start where their psychology was first programmed, childhood. And the most iconic image of a Gen X childhood isn't a family dinner table, it's a house key, hanging from...
Look at that, hanging... hanging from the ribs, just like I said. Woo! Lord help your people. Nate J says, I still don't want people shouting at me. Put that money on my check. I don't want an employee of the month. Girl, I don't need none of that. Pay me right. Pay me on time. I do what you say, but I'm leaving. I'm leaving on time. Those ambitions, I've already been through the ambitions period. Worked a lot of hours to get to the salary that I'm at. Now I'm like, I'm just coasting now. I don't want to do shit. I want to do as little as possible. Working smarter, not harder. Can't tell these people nothing. They just think they're just supposed to come in making $5 million a day and just go home, go to work at 10 and leave at 1 and supposed to do. Child, please. I'm just saying. That's exactly how they act. That's exactly how they act. I've won those things with your team was the best team, and we had those award things, and you say who was the best one on your team, and your team won, and you got the trophy. I've been there, done all that. It was fun at the time. I'm on the downslope now. Ain't nobody trying to work hard. So this week, after having been off for most of the month of January, this was a tough week because I actually had to work. Like when I say that, yeah, I actually had to work. So I got to get all of that back together so I don't have to work so hard. But I'm playing catch up now. And hopefully I can catch up by the time March gets here because I need to take some time off. Shout out to the kosher clinician in the building. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate you. Always good to see you with the 777. He said, I saw this. Generation X was the last normal generation. Thinking about doing a new series on this, but we were built different. August 20th, 1971. It's over. I agree. Shout out to 1971. Shout out to 1971. 54, about to be 55, and it's all good in the hood. I absolutely want to continue this because I think it's, I think we enjoy hearing this type of stuff and know that we're not crazy based off of what these people are saying. Like, look at everything that's going on right now. This stuff is ridiculous. And the fact that people are doing all this crazy stuff that's going on right now and trying to make that normal, child, that's y'all's normal. That's y'all's normal. Keep my name out your effing normal because I don't want no part of none of it. None of it makes any sense. And the fact that they expect us to change, they really expect us to change and assimilate to their bullshit. All this bullshit that's going on, so we're supposed to change our upbringing. Child, hell no. Hell no. Y'all got that. We'll just watch from the sidelines on this internet because we do know how to cope. We do know how to problem resolve and solve, but we'll get into it. Thank you so much, TQC or TKC. I appreciate you. Shout out to everyone that is here. Please make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
A string around a child's neck. In the 1970s and 80s, American families quietly transformed. Divorce rates climbed. Two-income households became normal. More women entered the workforce, which was a major step forward for society. But it also created a childcare gap that nobody truly knew how to fill. So millions of kids became something new.
Child, you think my mom was out there looking for childcare from the government? You think, and guess who watched my younger sister, Bueller? Guess who watched my younger sister? I give you 3 guesses and the first 3 don't count. Okay.
Key kids. Picture it. It's 3:12 p.m. The school bus drops you off. You walk home alone. The neighborhood is quiet. You open the front door and the house greets you with silence. No footsteps. No voice calling your name. No adult energy. Just the hum of the refrigerator and the faint smell of yesterday's dinner. You make your own snack. You do homework with the TV on in the background. If you fall and scrape your knee, you rinse it and move on. If you feel scared, you swallow it. If you feel lonely,
hold on. Let's not look over this part right here where you see the kid doing the dishes. He taking care of his own. We was home alone. Shout out to that movie. We were definitely home alone. And yes, thank y'all. I watched my sister. And I'm sure y'all watched your siblings as well. Because that's what it was. Wasn't no going to the damn government and begging them for no child care. Wasn't no going to the, I mean, no shade. I'm just saying. We wasn't eligible for none of that. I'm pretty sure. You have a military person, you have a woman who's in sales for radio. So wasn't nobody eligible for nothing, but we had to fill out that thing every time school started, that you had to fill it out to say what it is that you got, which I don't even understand what the point was, but it was required, I guess, to kind of get you if you did need benefits. So they was kind of passing them out to you in case you missed it, which is crazy to me. Because I would always be like, well, maybe I can get free lunch. Because my mother wasn't getting me no Lunchables. My mother wasn't giving me no money for lunch. You know what I was doing? Make that damn lunch or get the damn money yourself. So I think we learned self-sufficiency, which is not a bad thing. But if you listen to these people now, you would think that that was like slavery. You would think that was slavery. Self-sufficiency. Amazing. Another word that these people don't know. Everybody's supposed to give them something. You got McDonald's money? I know y'all know that. Shout out to Uncle Rick, member for 7 months. I appreciate you, boo. He said, F them kids. I agree. You already know. You already know. Every single time. Yeah, every single beginning of the year. And it's like, after a while, I was like, child, I don't even know why we got to do this. And then they'd be like, you have to bring this form back. And then my mom is like, why do we have to fill this out? I'm like, what do you want from me? Stuck in the middle, right? The school saying you got to do it. Your mom saying she don't want to do it. We in the middle. What am I supposed to do? You want me to fill it out? Should I just fill it out? I'm just saying. That's how it was for me anyway. Thank you, boo. He said, you bet not answer the door. You better not answer near door. Not near door. And nobody better come into this house. And you better stay inside till I come home. All the rules that you were supposed to follow without somebody of an adult telling you what to do. They told you what to do, and then you just better do it, or your ass was grass.
Silence. No footsteps. No voice calling your name. No adult energy. Just the hum of the refrigerator and the faint smell of yesterday's dinner. You make your own snack. You do homework with the TV on in the background. If you fall and scrape your knee, you rinse it and move on. If you feel scared, you swallow it. If you feel lonely, you don't even have the words for it yet. Psychologists might call this benign neglect, not cruelty, not abuse, but something subtler, being physically safe while emotionally unsupervised. And that environment wires the brain in a very specific way. When you're 8 years old and no one is coming to rescue you, you learn a brutal lesson early. Help is not automatic. Comfort is not guaranteed. Attention must be earned or ignored. That's where Gen X's famous independence comes from. But it's also where something deeper is.
Shout out to Kofa that just said that we definitely were independent. And that's not a negative thing. It's not a negative thing to be able to take care of yourself. I think that's what we're supposed to learn, because no one's come to save us. So that message that you gentlemen saying that you got when you were younger, that nobody's coming to save you, I feel like Generation X had that same explanation. Nobody coming to save you. You're going to figure it the fuck out. The lesson, you're going to figure it the fuck out. May not have been said like that, but basically my parents were saying, you're going to figure it the fuck out. Because if I got out here and went to the military, and I got out here and went into sales, and I got out here and went to the military and is fighting wars, you're going to figure it out. Now, do I benefit from all of that? Absolutely, I do. Monetarily, how life was lived. And what do you get for that? Made fun of because your parents made a way for you. You can't win for losing. And that's why the attitude is, I don't give a damn. You don't give a damn, go and throw it up. Hey, can't please everybody. That's a you problem, not a me problem. Shout out to Upward Man, I appreciate you. He says, salute Miss Michonne. Fond memories included the Bill Cosby, Lou Rawls. Oh, you're reaching back to Lou. And Debbie Allen specials. All hail Gen X, 82878. I love it. And in right at the tail end. Lucky you. The millennials be trying to squeeze their way on in there. Child. Child. Nate J, thank you, Boo. She said, I remember going to the ER, my mother asking, do I need to? Oh, child, mom was busy. She said, child, do I have to show up? I believe it. Nate J over there, possibly about to lose a limb. Her mama said, child, do you need me? Do I have to come over there? Can you make it home on the bus? She said, can the ambulance give you a ride home? I'm only playing. Shout out to you, Boo. That is absolutely it. This is well before participation trophies and people saying, oh my God, you poor baby, you poor thing. And that's why y'all be failing now. Shout out to Kofi. I appreciate you, honey. He said, don't answer the door for nobody. I left my mama outside for an hour because she locked herself. Oh, no. Listen, you should have gotten in trouble for that. You know damn well you're supposed to let your mom in the house. You should have gotten in trouble for that. That's crazy. That's hilarious, though.
Because when you grow up feeling unseen, you don't just become independent. You become invisible on purpose. You learn to take up less space, to have fewer needs, to solve your own problems quietly. And eventually, that coping strategy turns into a personality. It becomes your identity. And here's the part most people miss. The latchkey kid didn't stop needing love. They just stopped expecting it. They became adults who can survive anything, but struggle to ask for help. Adults who can work through pain, but don't know how to be held in it. That's the Gen X origin story. Not spoiled, not broken, just trained from the beginning to disappear. One of the biggest misunderstandings about Gen X is this. People assume they're emotionally cold. But Gen X isn't cold. Gen X is compressed. They feel just as deep.
Oh, not emotionally cold. No empathy, no sympathy. No empathy, no sympathy. All right, we give you a pass. We give you a pass if he was only 6. That's where that come from. Like, listen, I'm discovering some things. Why am I like this? The generation, child, because of how I was brought up, because of the things that I was taught. That's where that comes from, child. I don't have time to have a bunch of empathy and sympathy, especially for people that be whining and complaining. You get out there, you make that shit happen. Like all this, it's somebody else's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. Well, everyone doesn't have the same opportunities. Everybody now got the same opportunities as anybody else does. You know how to open that phone to whine and complain and beg. You know how to open up GoFundMe's, but all of a sudden you don't know how to take care of yourself. And the fact that people make excuses for that, that's that damn participation trophy. Just because you're you think you special just because you special to your mama. This is amazing. You special to your mama. You ain't special to the rest of us. Just like I know I'm not special to everybody. I'm not offended by that. Y'all be offended because the job doesn't care about me. No, they don't. Why do y'all need somebody to care about you so badly? Need some help. Need some psychological help or something. Of course, we know they won't go get that because then that looks crazy, or they got to tell the whole world and they know the whole world will make fun of them. Child. If it ain't one thing, it's something else. Shout out to Saint Fan. Good morning to you, Boo. I appreciate your support. He said, good morning, Miss Shauna. Peace to the chat. 79, baby, here at the tail end of X and cusp of millennials. Some things really are universal, especially having been raised in an army house. Rules were rules. That's probably another effect for me as well, since the whole family was military. The whole family was military. They weren't putting away no bullshit. There was no messes in the house. There was no messes in the house. You got to get up. You got to clean up. You got to clean up after yourself. The kitchen cannot be left dirty. Everything needs to be out of the sink. When dinner was over, it was over. All that. Rules. These people ain't got no rules. These people ain't got no rules. That's half of the damn problem. Yeah, was it tough and a pain in the ass then? Absolutely. But I feel like it made us better now for show, for us to be who we are right now. So we can figure it the fuck out, because that's what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to go up in a corner and just crawl on a ball and die. No, you got to keep it moving. You know what else helps? And I know I shouldn't say this, child. You know what else helps? Having a partner, being married. Child, we'll talk about that another time. Black Navy vet, I appreciate you, Boo. He said, Mama, I want a Coke. There's a water fountain over there. Me, I don't want water, Mama. You ain't that damn thirsty. You got soda money? You got Coke money? And then eventually we did have the money. So then the answer was yes. I'd be like, oh, I want to go to McDonald's. You got McDonald's money? This is after I started working. I'd be like, yes. And then she'd be still mad because he just want to be a pain in the ass. I'm telling you, you wanted me to work. I work. I got my own money. I'm telling you. Now she don't want to take me to Now she don't want to take me to McDonald's. Child, I could have bought her a burger. We could not win for losing. Say I'm lying. We could not win for losing. Walk your ass on to McDonald's then. Now you gotta walk your ass to McDonald's.
As anyone else, sometimes deeper. Yet they were raised in a culture where feelings were treated like an inconvenience. If you were sad, you were told to toughen up. If you were anxious, you were told to deal with it. If you cried, you were told you were being dramatic. So Gen X learned a survival skill that looks like emotional intelligence, but often isn't. They learned emotional minimalism, not expressing much, not asking for much, not needing much, at least, not out loud. This is why a Gen Xer doesn't usually say, I'm overwhelmed. They say, I'm fine. They don't say, I miss you. They say, are you still alive? And when they love you, they may not give you poetry. They give you acts of service. They fix your car. They show up when it matters. They handle problems before you even notice them. That's their love language, because it feels safer than vulnerability. And sarcasm? That's not cruelty. It's emotion.
Oh, not the sarcasm. Hold up. This is describing relationships. Cause you know how I be like, child, you need to date on your your social economic level. You know what I mean? It's just easier that way, right? But child, maybe the answer also is date in your generation. Because these people don't understand this type of stuff that they're saying right here. You can do everything that you can for someone, right? You can be where they want you to be. You can give them what they want. You can give them all the what is it called? Like just saying like, I believe in you, I'm proud of you, and all that type of stuff. And you still will get shit from people with a different generation that don't even understand how hard that is for somebody for Generation X to say, to be out here talking about, I love you, I appreciate you, I'm here for you, I do what you need, I'm trying to make you happy. Remember I just put that post up the other day about oh shit, it just left my brain for a second. Oh, checking on men, like that's weird or something. That it gets annoying. I'm telling you, it would be like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Are you good? What's wrong? Or what's wrong? That's a trigger. Because if you don't seem like your regular self, I'll be like, what's wrong? Only from the perspective of, I'm just trying to be here for you and help you. And they'll take it in a different type of a way. Like it's all offensive because somebody cares for you. You can't even care for these people. You can't. They don't understand. And then to be in this generation and to do that, that's just not typically what most of us do. I can take that. Shout out to Big Joker. Appreciate you, boo. He said, representing Generation X, November 4th, 1973. Shout out to the 70s, y'all. I love the 70s. Y'all remember when you couldn't get gas unless it was odd or even tag? That's the day that you could get gas. I was a child and I remember it like it was yesterday. If your tag was even, you went on these days. If your tag was odd, you went on these days because it was a gas shortage. Wow. We ain't never had a gas shortage again. Anyway, we have families intact enough to listen to our grandparents' stories. Some of us were fortunate enough to know our great-grands. Yes, these Generation Zers barely know their real dad. Because everybody messing around, because everybody want to be in control, and don't nobody want to do what's right for the kid at the end of the day. Don't want to teach them any lessons. Don't want to teach them responsibility. Don't want to teach them self-sufficiency. No, it's just whatever you want, you should have. Whine and complain to the internet, and somebody will eventually give it to you. And y'all go ahead and do that. I'm not changing for none of y'all. That's why I keep saying all that stuff where they try and change words. Y'all need to make up your own language because I'm not changing the meaning of the words that I grew up on. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. Shout out to Ms. AB up in here. I see you, boo. She said, good morning, everyone. My grandma was tough and I loved every minute of it. When I look back at it, I couldn't imagine it any other way for real. Shout out to Mima, Grandma, Grannies, and all the rest because our grandparents were there for us. I got so many memories from my great-grandmother, like you just said, and my grandmother, who are both deceased. Rest in peace to both of them. But that's when I used to come home to my great-grandmother, and she would have two glazed donuts warmed up and a glass of milk waiting for me every day after school. That is a memory that I will never, ever, ever leave out of my mind. And then the Young and the Restless and all the soap operas, The Price is Right, all that stuff. What these people got? What do these people got? Do they even have any memories? They just trying to go to Miami for the weekend to whore. So when they look back on life, it's going to be whoredom.
This is
They're
amazing.
gonna look back on their life and tell their kids what? Whoredom? Is that what they gonna do? Wow. Shout out to Upward Man with another 5. Appreciate you, honey. Said, what about listening to the radio all day to record your favorite songs for your new favorite mixtape? Child, them teenage years. Them teenage years. Just so that you could make a tape with all the best love songs to give to your boo, whoever that was, to let them know how you feel about them. That definitely was a thing. That definitely was a thing, child. Oh my God, remember late night, what was it called? The dude that used to come on late night with all the love songs, then you be on the phone with your boo till y'all fall asleep. Oh, Lord. These dummies sitting up here allowing their kids to be out here protesting some shit that ain't got shit to do with them, teaching them what? To be chaotic for the future.
They don't say, I miss you. They say, you still alive? And when they love you, they may not give you poetry. They give you acts of service. They fix your car. They show up when it matters. They handle problems before you even notice them. That's their love language, because it feels safer than vulnerability. And sarcasm? That's not cruelty. It's emotional packaging. It's how they share pain without sounding weak. It's how they confess anxiety without making it a big deal. It's how they stay connected while keeping their guard up. Here's the hard truth. Gen X didn't grow up learning how to talk about feelings. They grew up learning how to function through feelings. So they can be emotionally mature and still emotionally unavailable. They can support everyone else while quietly neglecting themselves. Not because they don't care, but because for a long time the rule was simple. Feel it privately. Handle it alone. Move on. Here's the paradox of Gen X. The very trait that made them strong is also the trait that makes them lonely. When you grow up as a latchkey kid, independence isn't a personality choice. It's survival. Your brain learns to scan for problems and solve them fast, without making noise, without asking permission, without needing emotional backup. So you become capable, not just responsible, capable in that quiet, almost intimidating way. The kind of...
So y'all remember this type of stuff when you're dealing with these biatches, right?
This is amazing.
You dealing with a biatch that's Generation X. We know how to do shit. This not a bad thing. You need to embrace it. I'm not talking about people that's talking about what do you bring to the table? I'm strong and independent. I ain't talking about all that, okay? I'm just talking about normal ones of us that can buy a house, that know how to open a book, that know how to find a book, that know how to research, that know how to say, it's this, this, and this. This is the direction. First you do this, second you do this, third you do this to get to the end goal. Always got a plan. A, B, C, and D, can handle shit. So God forbid if something should happen to you, you know that you have someone that you can depend on instead of somebody that's going to go running away because you don't have anything anymore. So you have no value to her. So she out. Just like that heifer we watched the other day, who I don't put her in X, but she said, no, she was 24. So she's a Z. She said that man took care of her while she had some brain issues. She was sick. He did this, he did that. And now she mad or feeling some kind of way and want to leave him after all that because he won't take her out on dates. The most selfish generation ever. We not selfish. I know I'm not selfish. I don't give to everybody because that's just not what I'm doing because I don't work hard in order to give to the world so that I can be effed up. Not doing that. But if you needed me, if you was with me and you needed me, I got you. So where the hell you gonna get that from? Dating your generation, y'all. Dating your generation. That's what it's gonna be. Shout out to Black Navy Vet. Thank you, boo. He said at the mall calling mama to pick up the phone at the payphone. You got to collect call from mama. I'm ready. Do they know about that? Because ain't no cell phones, y'all. And you don't want to waste your quarter in the cell phone because you want to put it into the video games because we was in there playing video games in the mall. So you call home collect. And when the person is saying the name, you say, I'm ready to go home. But honestly, just the fact that the collect call was coming through probably should have been the sign to come pick me up, right? Child, cheap, but it made sense. It was economical at the same time. Problem resolution, child. Saving a penny. Shout out to my fave member for 28 months. Thank you so much, boo. I appreciate you. He said at age 6, I knew
This is amazing. This is amazing.
At age 6, I knew to never open that door while home alone. Watch too much America's Most Wanted. Oh my God, I forgot about that. And Unsolved Mysteries back in the late 80s to do that ish. How about there was still the white van that you needed to be on the lookout for? Say I'm lying. Y'all know about the white van. Be careful for the white van. Never talk to anyone that offers you candy. All those lessons, all that stuff. Was we getting trafficked? I mean, obviously we weren't. I never heard about all this trafficking and all this type of stuff. And people will say, oh, that's because you didn't have the internet. No, it was because we had the community that y'all claim that you want, and people was looking out for each other, even as we grew up, and they knew who was whom. They knew who was who belonged here and who didn't. And y'all think that that's weird that somebody would say, I know you don't belong here and I'm calling the police. That's what I pay taxes for. Yes, I'm calling the police. Yeah, you don't belong here. You're up to something. Ain't nobody got time for that. Shout out to that. Anybody got time for that? No, y'all gonna talk about that's racist. Well, racist it shall be. Because I know you don't belong here. You ain't up to no good. You ain't up to nothing positive standing on a effing corner in this neighborhood or just standing around. No. Do that shit someplace else. Don't do that here. That's just me though. Shout out to Hiram in the building. I appreciate you. Boo. He said we spent a weekend making mixtapes off the radio on cassette tapes, then dub it to make tapes for friends. Shout out to Double Cassette Dad. Shout out to the best we did the best that we could with what we had. And even when you was trying to mix these tapes in, you tried to do it and cut it off before the DJ started talking. And then in the midst of it, you could hear the DJ start talking. Child, it didn't even matter. Those was good times.
This is amazing.
Shout out to RBN. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your generosity. Boo. He said, when I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's as sweet as a dove. For the first time in my life, I see I need love. Shout out to LL Cool J. My baby. You know I know. Shout out to LL Cool J. Woo, Lord help your people. They was playing LL this morning in the gym. I was like in the zone. Just play some good music and I'm all good and I won't complain. They play some mess. I'm gonna complain the whole damn time. Oh my God. They be waiting for me to say that. They had me with 25s today. I'm like, I can't do it. He said, you gonna do it. I'm like, I can't. It's too much. He said, oh, you gonna do it. Guess what? I did that shit. Bicep curls with 25 pounds. That's a lot. I'm still female. I don't care, child. That's a lot. He don't give a damn. He said, you need to go ahead and you need to do it because I know you can do it. Jackass. Anyway. Shout out to my fave. I appreciate you, Boo. He said, be aware of a van with black windows and sliding door. Yes, absolutely. We was told that type of stuff. Do these people tell their kids this type of stuff? Don't talk to strangers. Child, no. They allow them with this damn thing and don't monitor the shit. When my kids, and I'm going to let it play. When my kids first got their phones, well, the first kid got the phone, they had parental monitors. Do they not have that now? When we got the computer, they didn't have no computers in the room. The computer sat, this is my family. The computer sat in the, I don't know. I guess it was the living room. One of the living rooms, right? And I call it the computer room. And they was like, I said, my ass. You got computer money? Why we got it? Because I said so, because we need to monitor what the hell is going on. And there was monitors, parental monitors on the computer at the time. And I was looking at that shit. You think my husband was looking at that shit? He wasn't doing nothing but sleeping. I'm looking at that shit. And you had a limited amount of time on that shit. Carry your ass to bed. Then the phone came through. Yep, I'm monitoring that shit too. And you know what else I monitored, y'all? That they hated? The TV. Oh my God, my kids couldn't stand me. I knew they couldn't stand me. I monitored the TV. I turned on parental controls on TV. So if they ever tried to look at something that was anything other than G, they'd have to ask in order for it to show up. It was hot. Daddy, can you do something? Daddy, we can't watch TV. Daddy, why is she so mean? Ain't nobody trying to hear that. You don't need to watch whatever it is. I need to know what the hell it is that you're watching. I'm just saying.
Learns to scan for problems and solve them fast, without making noise, without asking permission, without needing emotional backup. So you become capable, not just responsible. Capable in that quiet, almost intimidating way. The kind of person who can handle a crisis at work, fix what's broken, and still show up on time. The kind of person other people lean on when their life falls apart. But hyper-independence comes with a hidden price tag. Because at some point, self-reliance stops being a strength and becomes a wall. Gen X didn't learn, I can do this. They learned, I have to do this. And that subtle difference rewires everything. It creates adults who feel uncomfortable receiving support, even when they desperately need it. Adults who don't vent because venting feels useless. Adults who don't reach out
Hold on. Let me go back to this real quick.
Stops being a strength and becomes a wall. Gen X didn't learn I can do this. They learned I have to do this. And that subtle difference rewires everything. It creates adults who feel uncomfortable receiving support, even when they desperately need it.
So when I hear these biatches be talking about, you got to give me money and you got to pay for my kids and you got to pay for that's weird.
This is amazing.
That's weird. That's crazy to me. They can try to justify it all they want to. Oh, you want some box? Well, you shouldn't be a whore and you shouldn't be giving it up like that, because I was taught that why buy the cow when you could get the milk for free, or yeah, you don't want to get a reputation, all that type of stuff. You don't want to get an STD, all this stuff. The boys are going to try everything. You have to know. I was told this, that, and the third. That's why when it was time to talk to our children, we did it together. Because I said, you're the man. You can tell them specifically what they're going to hear.
This is amazing.
You got to participate in this, and you're going to have to tell them. There ain't no point in being embarrassed, child, because it's going to be worse if they come home as a teenage pregnant kid. And ain't nobody got time for that. I don't even want to take care of them. So I damn sure don't want to be taking care of no spawn sooner than I have to. We sat right there and told them both. This was going to happen. This was what they're going to say. You got questions about boys, talk to your father. That's what he's here for. Child, other people look at it differently. But yeah, so this you need to pay for this, you need to give me that, you need to give me this. No, I don't understand that type of shit, because we had to figure it the fuck out and get it done, and we got it done too. That's what makes us strong and independent. And those aren't negative words. They're not negative words whatsoever. If you want to make it be negative, you can look at it as negative, and it's probably someone that's in a different generation that thinks that's negative. I feel like that's a positive, that you can depend on somebody, but that's another word that these people don't know. They don't understand being able to depend on somebody. I understand that it could be hard for some men to depend on a woman, but y'all, that's something that y'all got to get over. Because I feel like it's better to be able to depend on somebody that's your significant other that can help you when times get rough, because the times are always going to get rough. And that's another thing that these people don't understand. You're not supposed to be happy 24 hours a day, 365. It don't work that way. But I'm telling you, that's what they think. And that's why they F the F up most of the daggone time. That's just not how life works. But y'all, you can't tell these people nothing, because the 90s is dead. Shout out to CGA. 90s is dead. Shout out to my favorite, appreciate you. Boo, he said, remember when TV channels shut down at night? Remember when they shut down at night and then they played the Star Spangled Banner, if I'm not mistaken? Was it the Star Spangled Banner or was it Taps? I hope it wasn't Taps. And then the flag would show up, and then it would go black or gray or popcorn, and it'd be done until the next morning. Child, that was a thing. But I wasn't watching TV anyway, so it doesn't matter, because I was in my room listening to the radio. That's what we did a lot of, is listening to music and listening to the radio. That's what I think we did anyway. Excuse me. Shout out to Upward Man. I appreciate you. He said Budweiser ribbit. I totally forgot about that. Shout out to Budweiser with the frogs. That was a long time ago. Shout out to TKC, still up in here. I appreciate you, hon. He said, if you got a few minutes, I would love to talk in before I see my patient. I would love to tap in before I see a patient. You mean you want to come up? Is that what you mean? Let me know if that's what you mean. All right. Let me go ahead and get this video going.
Adults who don't vent because venting feels useless. Adults who don't reach out, not because they don't care, but because some part of them still believes nobody will come. And over time, that becomes emotional isolation. They're not alone in the loud, obvious way. They can have families, careers, friends, but inside, there's often a quiet loneliness that comes from being the strong one for too long. This is why many Gen Xers struggle with therapy, not because they reject it, but because vulnerability feels like a foreign language. Their inner child is still whispering the same rule they learned as 8 years old. Handle it, don't bother anyone. Hyper-independence is a superpower, but if you never learn to be held, it can turn into a private kind of prison. If hyper-independence is the engine of the Gen X psyche, then cynicism is the armor. Because Gen X didn't grow up in an era of trust. They watched institutions crack in real time. Watergate taught them the presidents could lie. The Cold War taught them tomorrow wasn't guaranteed. The Challenger explosion taught them even the future could fail. Suddenly,
I feel like the Challenger explosion anniversary just happened like in the last few weeks. That was hard. That was hard. I remember that. Now I heard about Watergate, but I wasn't all into none of that. But that Challenger, we used to watch. In school, we used to watch space shuttles take off. That was the thing. Do these people do anything like that? Do they do anything to learn about what's going on now, except for hearing about what's going on in Minnesota and protesting?
Publicly and violently. And then came the 80s. Glossy, loud, aggressively optimistic, while everything underneath felt unstable. Gen X became the first generation raised on non-stop advertising. From Saturday morning cartoons to mall culture, they were marketed to like a captive audience. And over time, their brain adapted. They developed a finely tuned internal alarm system, a BS detector. That's where the famous Gen X attitude comes from.
Woo! Shout out to BS detector! I love it. Hold on. First of all, we got to talk about Saturday morning cartoons, y'all. Come on now. Saturday morning cartoons. And then when the cartoons was done, it was Soul Train. We watched Saturday morning cartoons, and about 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, Soul Train would come on. We watching, I don't even know, so many damn cartoons from back in the day. I don't know if Tom and Jerry was on the weekend. I remember always watching Tom and Jerry. I love Tom and Jerry. I also remember watching Abbott and Costello. That's what I used to watch before we went to church. Before we went to church, that's what we used to watch. Good morning to you.
Hey, what's up, lady? How you doing? What's going on?
And nothing much. Same old, same old. Good to see you. Thanks for coming through.
Yes, ma'am. It's a pleasure to see you. I was listening to you, and I've actually seen. I was looking at this clip, Michonne. I was looking at this clip. It actually came on my feed, and I said, "Wow, that's I think YouTube feeds us similar stuff. I think if we got similar content, they feed us similar stuff." Mm-hmm. But I came with a new slogan, Michonne, that I'm trying to use on my channel, and the concept says that we're living in a time where truth is stranger than fiction, and delusion is at an all-time high. And so.
I'm high. I agree.
Yes, ma'am. So I resonate with you. I resonate with what you're saying because you and I were Gen X strong. We got it from the mud. Everything I got, I went to grad school, Carolina, undergrad, Central, law enforcement. And we just figured it out. Now, I wasn't a latchkey kid. My mom and dad were together for almost 60 years until my mom died last year. Oh, and my dad is still living. And my three sisters and I, two sisters and I, my other sister passed away. We took our dad out to the Virgin Voyage. We were on a full cruise. We were on a full cruise to St. Kitts, Virgin, St. Martin, Barbados. And we just want to show love to our dad, to give him honor, because we don't know how much longer he got on this planet. But this generation don't care about nothing. And I would say that Gen X was not only the last generation, but I call it the Gen X nexus. It was a nexus point between normalcy and debauchery and degeneracy that you see now. And we're not ever going back to that time. You and I know what normal was. We drunk out of, faucets and, we had good music. I mean, our generation, we had the best of old school, but we had some of the best artists, gospel or secular, came from the new school. Yep. And so we were at that nexus point and we got it from the mud. We didn't complain about it. We figured it out. Actually, you were expected to be great from Gen X. Yep. That's why when I talk the way I talk on my channel, people might think I'm harsh. And me, I'm not harsh. It's that when I hear chicks talking about they want a high value man, they've been ran through, got a bunch of kids by other men, that's foolish to me. That's delusion. And people get mad because they're not used to the standards that people had years ago. When my dad married my mama, Michonne, my dad got a wife. My mom was a virgin, wife ready, no kids. My dad paid all the bills. That was just a norm. My granddad did the same thing. But you got generations of women now talking about paying all the bills. They ain't got children, Michonne. In the South, we say children. They got a bunch of children. And they expect you to pay all the bills. And so a lot of men are saying, nah, I'm good. It's just not like it used to be 20, 30 years ago. It's not the same. And I see it all the time in practice. They don't have coping skills. They're not rational. They have a me first mentality. They don't think about anything outside of themselves. They don't respect the OGs. You can show them evidence, Michonne, and because they're so delusional, they still don't want to see it. I mean, you can show them evidence. So shout out to my man Rip Do the Fire podcast, and they still don't. They don't want to see it, man. So you and I, we had the sauce of Gen X's, man. We had the sauce. And we just get it from the mud. I resonate with what you're saying about conservative talking points. I'm not a bona fide conservative. I'm not, and I'm definitely not a liberal. I'm an independent to have conservative talking points. But people can't think outside of their feelings.
Which is something that we technically have as Black people, honestly. If we're taking a look, at least from Generation X on, probably more conservative, just like you said, but don't want to admit it because they're too involved with this crazy mess of if you Black, you gotta do this and you gotta do that. So you're going against your whole routine of what you're brought up as. And I'm of a great grandmother that took me to church every Sunday. You're gonna go.
Ma'am.
There's no hands or butts. You better be throwing up or something. That's the only way you wasn't going, and you gonna be quiet and you gonna act right. And there was nobody busting up in that church, and somebody probably would have busted your ass, honestly, if you did because you showed respect. That's out the window too. So all of these things that people are accepting, that's why I'm like, y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. That's not.
I totally agree.
And I'm not going to support that. And I'm not changing from my upbringing, because while y'all complain about what you don't have, you could be using that time to get what you need and talk to someone that knows how to do it. But no, y'all would rather complain than we'll sit here and we'll listen to you.
Yes, ma'am. I've always said, Michonne, think about it. When you and I were growing up, our ancestors had it worse than us. And the thing that motivated me, Michonne, back in the day was Ebony and Jet magazine.
Yeah. Oh my God. I totally forgot about that. Yes.
Ebony and Jet. Now, don't get it twisted, Michonne. I've always been very ambitious. I don't live by no zodiac, but I'm a Leo. And Leo's got that swag. We got the sauce. And we ain't gonna stop until we get it. And so I saw homeboys going to school. I saw my homeboy going to school, and I'm like, they ain't better than me. And so I just work hard. Michonne, I set myself to basketball camp. I went to Prep Stars in Charlotte. I got recruited by 7 schools. After I set myself, I worked full time. I went to school full time, even when I was going to graduate school. Going to graduate school, going to undergrad and Central. I always worked full time, went to school full time, and take care of my family full time. And I just got it from the mud. Because I was a dreamer. I had goals. I had ambitions. And so when I see entitlement, and I see people blaming, I'm not saying that systemic racism is not real, because it is real. Because the thing I hate about a lot of times Black conservatives, they tend to minimize the impact of systemic racism. But this is the way I look at it, Michonne. There's a concept called racialized idolatry. And racialized idolatry purports that just because your skin color is Black, then we're one. But no, we ain't from the same tribe. We weren't from the same tribe in Africa. But some of these Negroes assume just because we were forced into one is because of the struggle. We have the same consciousness and the same ideology. I don't rock with people like that. I've always been the kind of person that had a higher level of consciousness. I don't care nothing about your skin color. I'm an independent thinker. And of course, people are trying to shame you and that, call you out of your name. But I even laugh at that now, because you're not gonna make me do something against my own will. I'm very strong-willed. I'm gonna say what I want to say. I ain't gonna tap dance to be no circle, no click. I'm 6'5", and you ain't gonna make me do anything. I can hear your perspective, but you're not gonna make me do anything. I'm sorry. Go ahead, dear.
But you know what? Since you just said that, another series, because I'm gonna try to change the way I'm doing some things, is that I'm gonna look at is the D9. Because that needs to be looked at and viewed. No shade against anybody that's in it, but there's a lot of issues there, and people do not want to admit that. Is that all this blindly following behind stuff has got to go?
Yes, ma'am. You cooking. Listen, it's so profound, because what you're saying is perfect. So let me tell you about my story. When I was at North Carolina Central, they recruited me heavy for Alpha Phi Alpha. I was recruited for Alpha Phi Alpha heavy. But I always saw things through a Christian worldview, and there's a concept, Michonne, called apologetics. Apologetics comes from giving a defense for why you believe in the faith. That's what apologetics is. And it's funny you say that, because I talked with my aunt, my mom's sister. She's an AKA. My cousin's an AKA. I had another cousin that was a Shriner. And listen, I got some brothers that are Masons. They good people. They're good people. But when you get to the 33rd degree, you're worshiping Lucifer. Now, they'll say you're not, but you have to study it. And so, because a lot of folks are getting caught up into this boule stuff. They don't even understand it. Like I said, I was recruited heavy by Alpha Phi Alpha. And I'm not saying their argument is always we do good. I'm not saying they don't do good. They don't do good.
Absolutely.
But the things that they do is not only tied to idolatry, but it's also worship. When you look at the ritual books and some of the things they say, and many times the founders are either Masons or Shriners, and they tend to go hand in hand. And some people got in, they were innocent. They didn't know. My aunt, I spoke with her. She took it kindly. AKA, top tier AKA, went to St. Augustine's College. My cousin, she's an AKA. But when you really look into it, Michonne, a lot of the curses associated with a lot of these people is actually tied to when they make those oaths. And the devil will always collect on his money. He's going to always collect.
Yep, I know. I agree. It's just, there's just some things that, people are upset no matter what I talk about. So I don't even care. That's a part of it.
But you keep telling the truth, Michonne. You don't listen. I respect your boldness because, we live in a time now where people trying to suppress individuality and suppress consciousness. And see, the thing with me, Michonne, I can think outside of myself. I don't mind if people have a civil debate or civil disagreement with me. I'm okay with that as long as it's civil. I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but at the same time, I'm going to show you the evidence. And there's a concept, Michonne, called collaborative empiricism. That's just a fancy way. It's a treatment model we use in CBT. It says, I'm going to show you the evidence. And then if you keep refuting the evidence, that means that you're a delusion. That's why I said we live in a time, Michonne, where truth is stranger than fiction and delusion is at an all-time high. And that's actually how I've been trying to brand my channel now because I believe we are living the latter part of the last days. It just don't feel right no more. When my mom passed, you would thought more folks would be showing love, but it was like an emptiness, Michonne. I remember, growing up in the 70s in the South, listening to Gladys Knight and the Pips and Misty Blue, the song Misty Blue. My mom would be drinking beer. And she used to make me so depressed, Michonne. She'd be in the house with the house dim, drinking beer, playing Misty Blues. Playing Misty Blue. I said, Mom, why are you playing that dumb song? And then, and it was just different, the mass choir, because I was in the choir. I was a superintendent at my church. It was just a different time. Gen X women weren't perfect, but Gen X women were better than women now. Gen X women understood that if you had a bunch of children out of wedlock, it lowered your stock. And so I think that you and we resonate with other Gen X content creators because that was just the standard back then. The standard was just the standard. It was just normal. But now people try to get you caught up into their ideology and they try to change you and make you want to get into their worldview. You're not going to change me. I'm Gen X strong. You're not going to change me. I'm Gen X strong, man. Yeah.
Yep. So we don't do that. But again, I'll keep talking about what I want to talk about.
You should.
If they don't like it, they don't have to like it. But I would love to see people act a little bit more mature instead of just saying stupid stuff to come, and just be negative. We don't have to agree. We can talk. We can, to have a discussion. And even if we don't agree, it don't mean that we got to hate each other. Because there's a lot of people here that come here that are, on opposite sides of politically. And I'm like, I don't care about that. As long as everybody is respectful and everything, then that's all that matters to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we roll over here. But you already know. But I appreciate you coming on up, and I appreciate support as always.
Thank you, dear. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, sweetie. Be good. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shout out to TKC. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank you so much for hanging in there. Let me go ahead and acknowledge Ms. AB. I appreciate you, hun. She says the beauty of the week from Essence and the Jet Magazine. Yes. Who had Jet Magazine on the back of the toilet in the bathroom? The question probably should be who was not subscribed to Jet Magazine in Ebony. Because the Jets was right in the bathroom so that when you was in the bathroom, y'all know what I'm saying, you could just grab the latest Jet or the old Jet and go ahead and discuss. And it would only get swapped out if it got to be too many on the back of the toilet seat. Because other than that, that's where they stayed. And anybody could be reading them at any time, but it was always available to us all. Shout out to the beauty of the week. Shout out to Black Navy Vet. He said, Challenger shuttle jokes. How did they find out that the teacher had dandruff? They found, goodbye. Stop this. Y'all ain't shit. Shout out to the best chat on YouTube. Y'all make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. RBN appreciate you. He said salute to the kosher clinician. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Upward Man. I appreciate you. He said this might be a tearjerker for those who remember the after school special starring Malcolm Jamal Warner as a stuck it old kid to self-delete. I don't remember that. Do y'all remember that? I don't remember that at all. I'm sorry, boo. That sounds depressing, but remember after school specials? So there was something for us to watch that was actually going to teach us something, the after school special. Woo! Lord help your people. What the